difficulties here. It's been a while, but we do have Typhoon Bebinca, if that is right, and it is going to be making landfall right here. It just did make landfall. We can go back on radar. It just did make landfall. There's the eye, and Shanghai is going to get part of this eye wall, but new city is going to get the worst of this. You can see all the rain, what do you call it? The storm surge is gonna be really bad. Like areas near Shanghai, there is a river right here with Shanghai, so Shanghai might get in on some maybe intense storm surge right here if I can draw. I keep taking screenshots because I cannot draw. But somewhere right over here, I'm just gonna use this arrow because I can't use. I'm gonna use this arrow because I can't use a drawing thing. But right here along this river, we might see some more storm surge inundation, for Shanghai because the winds, you can see the wind pattern. And so especially this part, when the winds kind of go like this, it's going to be going towards Shanghai. I wish I had my pen. I do have my pen, but I wish it just worked. But we can also look at pressure, which this isn't really helpful, but we can tell us partially the strength of the system. So around 972 millibars. So we actually did strengthen. Well, not over land, but right before landfall, probably strengthened, and we probably have pretty good tropical system. So once again, we're around a 75. Well, I said 75. 74 mile per hour storm. That is a Category 1 typhoon. Yes, I didn't know I need to charge my iPad. I am aware of that. I am watching it. We can look at some satellite. It's a little bit distorted. No, it's not. It's just delayed. But we can look at satellite. And the model, this is what it is right now, but the model actually says it's going to go off land, which I don't know how much I trust in that. Much I would trust, because it should not be going south, especially if it's riding along a higher pressure system. So it should just be going, the eye at least is going to clip Shanghai. And yes, that is that. Now, I do need to fix my, I need to find a way to fix my pen. Do need to find a way to fix my pen. I do need to find a way to fix my pen. But it looks like I can't fix it at all. Oh, how about this? Okay, so here we go. I am such an idiot. But here is the center. You can see this river right here. With the wind blowing in this kind of formation, the river kind of cuts right here, which means Shanghai is probably to get on that storm surge. A little bit of a storm surge. Something we are watching. But the worst part of the storm is affecting, at least storm surge wise, is affecting the China now. But at least the worst part, the max wind band, is not even over land yet. we can look if you can look at the wind. You can see right here. You can see right here the max wind band is over here. It's off land right now. It's really just all around the system. It looks like it is going to be returning to, once again, the Shanghai areas. And it does look like it is starting to come on land. So we are sadly going to see these numbers rise. And we are seeing sustained winds, at least, there's no cities. But like in Shanghai, we're around 30 miles per hour. That's what the winds are being sustained. 35 in the Hunu city where the landfall was. And if we actually look at gusts are crazy. Shanghai is actually gusting around 90 miles per hour. Just east of it, 96 miles per hour. And we can kind of see it better where that max wind band is still, it is affecting these islands of China. But mainland-wise, it's still off to the east. It is only going to get worse for Shanghai. But it is finally, not in a good way, but finally is going onto land. The worst of the max wind band, but it's the majority of it, it's still, like, right here. It's like right here. It's still around between 50 and 20 miles for the core of the max wind band to be off shore. What I am going to do is, while I'm waiting, I do need to charge the iPad, but I also need to charge this. I do need to charge the pen. Make sure the pen is getting some charge into it. Yeah, so the gusts right now, they are really bad. The worst of the gusts right now are literally in Shanghai. And a little bit just east of Shanghai, where we could be seeing around 96 miles per hour in Pudong. 90 in Shanghai, and that should be getting worse. We could see potentially Shanghai max potentially around 95 to 100 miles per hour. So as it goes on land, it will be weak since the center where that main spin is. Let's see, turn off tropical systems for a second. Where that main spin is, I don't know if you guys like the crosshair or not, but where that main spin is, where that crosshair is, I'm not gonna have it on, but where that main spin is, that's where the center is, and as it comes on land, it will go. That max wind band should decrease. These islands are going to get it bad with around 120 miles per hour. That's the gusts. Now, the GFS, I think, has a bit of a weaker system. So the GFS for gusts has a weaker system at 80 miles per hour. That's what it is sustained right now. So, yeah, GFS has a bit of a weaker system. But that makes sense because the icon has a bit more resolution. We can go back to sustained winds. Sustained winds, once again, the max wind band, we're that 95, or that, I was about to say hurricane. Technically hurricane. These systems in the northern, they are in both hurricanes and typhoons are in the northern hemisphere. They spin the same way. But no, in this region, it's typhoons. So we're seeing your typhoon force winds really just right here, and it looks like these islands are just going to get it the worst. And thankfully, that's not where mainland China is. So thankfully, it's not going to be that. But it will come on land, and it looks like Nahu City will get around potentially 55 miles per hour. Sustained. The worst Shanghai will get. So in Shanghai, conditions are going to deteriorate more rapidly. It looks like Shanghai's max wind is going to be around, looks like from 30 to 35 miles per hour sustained winds, but the gusts are going to be your main problem. So Shanghai is not predicted to get the gusts of what a hurricane, or sorry, a typhoon is. Once again, that typhoon, this is right now 8:14 p.m. Eastern Time. Those typhoon force winds are going to be reserved right here. And since the area of lower pressure is right here, you know, since it's right there, the area of lower pressure, it's going to be reserved right there. So I do want to, yeah, that's where the area of lower pressure is. But and here's where the max wind band is. This will be easier when I have my pen back. But yes. It looks like Nahu New City is going to get a maximum sustained wind about 16 miles per hour. So it looks like at least for mainland China, it looks like right along the coast, specifically where landfall was near Nahu New City. That's where the worst that's where the worst will be. We're gonna look at the current radar right now, and that eye is still there. It's kind of smoothing out. Still there. Nahu New City is about to get on some heavier rain. Definitely heavier rain. These islands are just going to be completely smothered. It looks like Shangish County. Look at Shangish County. Well, Shangish County probably, yeah, Shangish County probably, and Shangish County probably had around potentially typhoon force winds. But conditions are going to be getting better from now. Still around 50 miles per hour sustained, but conditions are going to be getting better. Storm surge, still a problem on the southern side. Still a problem. Right, this storm surge over here is where it is at its worst. We have a bigger city. I don't know which city is bigger, guys. It looks like Suzhou is bigger than Shanghai. In Suzhou, conditions are going to get worse from here, with potentially maybe some minor storm surge to potentially 30 to 35 miles per hour sustained is what you're looking at. Wind gusts were already at 45 miles per hour. It should get around to, in Suzhou, it should get around 80 to 85 miles per hour wind gusts. So we're definitely worried about you. Definitely for storm surge as well. Current radar, you guys have been dealing with some outer bands. Definitely some outer bands right now. It kind of looks like the system itself, the structure. The structure is pretty good. I think at some point, either it's a big outer band, but I think at some point, this is the structure. It may have looked like maybe the structure is maybe over here to kind of split it apart. That could be happening. So we actually could be seeing a pretty intense outer band way out in front of this. So out in front of this, when it's like a tropical storm or tropical depression, Yankee, Gatorade, Denku County, Jiangsu. This outer band might just be the worst thing that you're seeing right now as far as wind goes. Well, actually, no, the system will be as worse. But it's a pretty intense outer band. But yet Shanghai is now in the thick of it. We're getting some moderate rain. Shanghai is getting some light rain right now. and some moderate rain, but it will be getting on some very heavy rain. And, no precipitation where the eye is, of course. I would upgrade to 1 hour forecasts, but that's on my phone to figure out how to transfer subscriptions. We can turn wind animation now. We can look at satellite. Here's satellite at 7:40 p.m. Here's 8 p.m. satellite. This was a bit more in depth. And yeah. Definitely an intense wind band. Okay, here's your precipitation forecasts, and I'm actually going to turn on tropical systems for this. Here's what the radar could look like down the line when it's a remnant low. It's definitely going to weaken. We could potentially, at this point, see some heavy rain near Woohoo. And Wooey. That's some heavy rain. And then it's going to try to fall apart, and we're not talking about any kind of heavy rain. The heaviest rain around, what's this time? 25 miles per hour, 2 a.m. on the 17th. The heaviest rain looks like it's going to be north of Fuyang, south of Suhu, and northeast of Bangbu. Here's your wind. I'll be right back. Okay, so here is where the eye is, and one second, I need to sneeze. 1 second. Well, okay, we're back. Okay, anyways. I think the center is covered up now. It does show that there is still an eye, but I mean, it shows that the main area of circulation is circulating around Fengxian district. So I don't know, but I'm gonna assume that it's somewhere here. And if we actually go on the wind animation, once we go to wind speeds, the track line isn't really verifying right now, but the track cone is verifying, so it is north of the track line. So in this, it's more than likely going to be going areas north of this line, so keep that in mind on the northern side of the cone. But yeah, once again, okay, looks like we did have an update. So it looks like we're more than likely. So it looks like we're around 70 miles per hour. Center of pressure somewhere. Looks like center of pressure is, if I do this correctly, center of pressure is somewhere like right here. And it looks like the max wind band has decreased a little bit. And there's another flare up right here. Max wind band is still off land. That will be going onto land soon. But it looks like it has decreased from typhoon force to tropical storm force. The gusts, I bet you have not changed. They may have a little bit, but yeah. We are at least the sustained winds are, at least on this model, no longer typhoon force. But I bet you there probably is still some typhoon force. So this is a typhoon still. I bet you there is still probably some typhoon force winds. But maybe it looks like we're in a trend where it more likely is no longer going to be a typhoon in the next little bit. At least in like the next 10 minutes or so. Next 10 to 20 minutes. When gusts are not a story that was changed, we're still finding near 130 mile per hour gusts, which I just do not think that. I think that's a bit more of a kind of a unrealistic type thing. I think it is definitely more younger than that. Not younger. I think, oh my god, Drake. I think it's a bit more less than that. Shanghai is now 92 miles per hour. And we are getting near 100 miles per hour just east of that river, the Shanghai River. I'm going to assume that's the Shanghai River. But east of the river that borders eastern Shanghai and Pudong. And so in Pudong, we're around potentially going to be maxing around potentially 100 mile per hour gusts. That does not surprise me one bit. But the sustained winds are around 30 miles per hour in Pudong. Like the same story to tell in Shanghai. Yeah, New Hanu City is definitely Nanhu New City, definitely nearing 50 mile per hour sustained winds. And along the coast, it might be even more, potentially around 55 mile per hour sustained winds. This area is still getting a kick in the butt with 70 to 74 mile per hour sustained winds. So it looks like we're probably not going to be a typhoon, at least until 9 p.m. Looks like we're going to be a typhoon until 9 p.m. It's 8:36. Yeah. Here's the current radar. Once again, we are near. It's not exactly where that spin is. Wow, so that just shows the center being a bit more north than where that's been. The center would be where that eye is, you know. So I mean, wherever that clearing is, but it shows the center being near. That center's over where that eye is. So it looks like the center is just northeast of New Hanzu City. And New Hanzu City is now getting some heavy rain. This is the worst. I bet you this is definitely... Actually, it's not the worst surprise. I think it is the worst of the rain. Definitely. I think it is definitely the worst of the rain. Actually, that might not be true. Actually, no, it's not going to be the worst of the rain. It's just getting bad now, and conditions are still going to start rapidly deteriorating. For Nahu City pressure, you're definitely feeling a 982 millibar pressure. Not, it looks like not. Fixian District is saying 977 millibars. And I'm guessing a 975 millibars. That's a pretty big pressure drop. Shanghai is actually maxing at 983. Wow. On the other hand, Suzhou is still in the 1000s. We expect that to change. We expect pressure to drop potentially to 980. So, yeah. Here's what the satellite looks like at around 8. Here's what the satellite looks like at 8:20 p.m. Satellite and radar at 8:20 p.m. And this is northeast of Nahu New City. Yeah. You know, eyewall conditions definitely in Nanhu New City. With eyewall conditions. Just northeast or at Fenks, just a little bit northeast or just at Nangsfigan District, the rain is starting to lighten up. And a little bit of the rain's lighting up. That area, and the wind is calming down. You might think it's over, but no, that is just the eye. Right after that, you're going to be experiencing at least your worst conditions for your area. You'll be experiencing the worst of the storm. Yeah, this part of the eyewall is really developed. Thank God it's mainly offshore, but that does extend a little bit into Nahu New City. Actually, just went a bit more south. Let's see, the main part of this eye wall is actually going to be in the ocean. but that is about to come once again on as the more this tracks along along the northern part of the cone, sorry, of the line in the cone. It actually looks like this could be. It looks like this could actually hit Suzu more than Shanghai. And I know it's weird because Suzu is more north than Shanghai, but this thing is going to continue on the northernly western trend, and it's already on the northern side. So it looks like the South Suzu Metro is going to get hit by this, at least by the eye. It looks like the outer eye wall is starting to develop a bit more, so that we can see about the heavier rain. It looks like it's trying to develop more, which means that Nahu City could be getting even more of a kick in the butt. I mean, the rain is definitely not over for Shanghai, Nahu City. Susu, you might be thinking that you just got a big break, but no, you're about to get at least. Susu, you're about to get just torrential rain and your eye wall conditions of not typhoon type conditions. By that time, it should be around a 65 mile per hour typhoon. So right now, it's a severe tropical storm. So right now, it's probably by a 70 mile per hour tropical storm. So right now, I would give it the call that probably it is no longer a typhoon. Probably is a tropical storm right now. So it looks like the mainland did not experience typhoon conditions. Now, of course, conditions like Nahu City is going to continue to fall apart and get worse. But it looks like these islands right here, they experience typhoon conditions. I can't tell you that much for sure. I think they did experience typhoon conditions. And I think Shangshi County. So it actually did make a direct landfall in Shangshi County. They did experience a direct landfall. And they probably experienced hurricane force conditions. But it looks like that the worst rain band was to the north of them. So they may not even have experienced typhoon. They probably did experience typhoon conditions. Don't get me wrong. Okay, 8:45. There's the center, just east of Fengxian District. Going towards, or at least just north of Fengxian District, still has an eye, Storm still has the storm still has around a 7.5 mile wide eye. So, it's still a pretty wide eye, covering some land. That inner eye wall is definitely, sadly, expanding. Even though the storm is weakening, it's kind of expanding a little bit. So it looks like New City is definitely getting heavier types of rain again, and that eye just shrunk again. It's around now 6.5 square miles. That's the length of the eye. It's definitely weakening. And once that eye goes away, then we'll have total no rain relief. in the midst of the storm. Suzu, well, be prepared because the rain is about to start and it's not about to end for at least a day, maybe. No, at least for the next few hours, it's not going to end. So, Shanghai is now experiencing the eye wall right now. The beginnings of the inner eye wall, the inner and outer eye wall. So yeah, the outer eye wall that is developing a little bit more because the convection is still blowing up because it's still over. Oh, it just weakened actually because of the on-land storm. Both parts of the eye wall just weakened, but they're still pretty strong. And Suzu we're still. It's coming. It's coming. Do want to see something. I do want to see if my pen does work now. Let's go. My pen is working again. We are cooking. But yeah, it says the center is somewhere right here, but it's not the center. Once again, it's where this eye is. Somewhere in here. And once again, it will be trailing. It'll be tracking something like this. That's what you need to be aware of. So this eye is getting smaller, but it's still there. Zuzu is the Eastern Metro. Zuzu is now in the rain. It's not going to stop from there. At least for the next very much while. Here's the wind. Here's the current wind speeds. Once again, we're still around 65 to 70 miles per hour. But this thing could be weakening faster than we thought. Yeah, it's supposed to be 65 till here as well. And actually, we can see. Yeah, so at this point, and the model shows it being a Suzu Ripper. At this point, it says sustained winds are around potentially 50 miles per hour. So actually, the Hurricane Center for the Western Pacific actually thinks that it's going to be it is a stronger storm than they predicted. And there's the center. Shrinking. Now the center is about 2 miles in width of diameter.